Everyone carries their inner child with them. If our child has experienced challenging events, these can turn into unfortunate coping strategies and defenses that create various illnesses. The inner child is energy patterns in our subconscious mind and emotional programming from our surroundings. These are stored in our cells. Healing one's inner child is one of the most important tasks we do for ourselves, because emotional accumulation makes us stressed and sick. Prejudices, a victim mentality, and illnesses are consequences of wounded and rejecting experiences in early life. I will give you some suggestions on how to work with your inner child. The inner dialogue we have in our mind is often programming from the inner child. This work requires solitary focus without distractions. The more time you invest in this process, the more you will heal. When you strengthen the child within you, you strengthen the core essence within you. Working with your inner child, this is a process that takes place in your own mind. For some, it may be helpful to use a doll or something else as an external symbol of the child within. Others use childhood pictures of themselves. Most people do the exercise visually in their minds, where they imagine their child. You decide the age of the child you want to contact within. Ask your child, how are they doing? What would your child answer? If it's difficult to remember from childhood, you can talk to the youngest part of yourself that you remember. The most important thing in this approach is the feelings and emotional state your child carries within them. How does it feel inside yourself when you contact your child? What emotional state do you recognize when meeting your inner child? Most people like to write down their conversation with their child. When you write down your thoughts and feelings, you delve deep into the energy patterns and encounter new insights. I will give you some time to listen to your inner child's answer now. Remember that you want to be your own best friend, where you meet your inner child with compassion, generosity, care, and acceptance. Imagine that you meet your child and tell them in words and sentences what your child needed to hear during their childhood. Repeat several times the supportive words the child needed to be met with. Take in the feelings that are present in the experiences from the past and accept them as they are. You need to feel the emotions and recognize them in the present moment, so that you can transform stagnation and blockages into the free flow of energy. This way, you can help your inner wounded child find inner balance. If your child shows you traumas and challenging situations, meet the child with the care and concern that was lacking in childhood. If it is supportive for you, in your visualization, you can invite animals, people, or God to support the child in this process. Whether you invite dead or living relationships does not matter. The most important thing is to reassure your child and acknowledge all feelings and experiences stored in the programming. The greatest healing occurs by recognizing the emotions so they can be released. If you invite an abuser or perpetrator who influenced your childhood, you can imagine that they cannot speak or harm you in your visualization. The perpetrator has been silenced, and they can only listen to your words and experiences, while God, an animal, or another trusted person supports you in the challenging relationship. If it is safe for you, you can allow the perpetrator to speak, where you hear their words and the underlying cause of the abuse. What is it in the perpetrator's life that has allowed the abuse? How can you best forgive and help each other? An abuser lives from a split mind and with many violations that they unconsciously project onto others. Both of you can use previous wounded actions to grow and do things better. This will bring healing for both of you. After you have had a conversation with your inner child, you can ask if there are any other people, animals, angels, gods, relatives who want to say something to your inner child. In your quiet mind, you invite in supportive and healing relationships that want to bring greater wholeness to your wounded child. Anything is possible, and your inner child is very wise and knows what will be supportive for them. Listen to the higher part of you that has important wisdom and insight for you and your child. Do you recognize the feelings that your child experienced in your adult life? Do you see a common thread of similar emotions in various situations from childhood and into adulthood? Crying serves as a solvent for old painful memories and is an inner release of accumulated energy and emotions. Tears help dissolve the blockages within us. Crying is one of the most natural things and can be seen as love coming out of the eyes. This is an exercise that can be repeated several times, where you meet different aspects of your inner child. If you have learned the knowledge from EFT, Emotional Freedom Techniques, activating energy points will be very supportive when contacting our inner child. The energy points at the root of the fingernails, by pressing the sides of the nail root on all fingers, activate different energy points. Squeeze each fingernail root while meeting your inner wounded child. You can also stimulate and press on the inside of the wrist, which is the area at the bottom of the inside of the arms, where several blood vessels transport oxygen to the palm. This area contains several energy points. When you stimulate this area, you send a safety signal to the body. The pressure on the energy points in the body will help you so that emotional accumulation releases from cell memory. For further guidance and help with your inner child, you can contact UnPeggy on their homepage unpeggy.no. Much love to you. Namaste.